Bismillah, Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. We used to say after we conclude our prayer, as we learn from our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to say right after 3 times astaghfirullah. Why is that? Why we ask Allah forgiveness? Why we were just praying, and one of the best action that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loved. So why we're saying astaghfirullah? لِجَبْرِ مَا يَكُونُ قَدْ وَقَعَ فِي الصَّلَاةِ مِنْ خَطَئٍ أَوْ سَهْوٍ. That's one of the ways to compensate if there is any shortcoming during the prayer and it's not that perfect. That's something you presented for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It might not that perfect. So when you say astaghfirullah, that will compensate that part that you might forget during the prayer. You might was thinking outside, your mind was absent. So that's one of the reasons. The Prophet ﷺ, after he used the washroom, he will say ghufranik. He's asking Allah forgiveness. Why is that? Because he cannot do dhikr. He cannot remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the rigor of dhikr inside the washroom. It's not the time and the place for it. And because of the time that passed without remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he asked Allah forgiveness. And think of that, how many times that it passed in our life without remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that required forgiveness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِذَا قَضَيْتُمْ مَنَاسِكَكُمْ فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ. And then, فَإِذَا أَفَضْتُمْ مِنْ عَرَفَاتٍ فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ عِنْدَ الْمَشْعَرِ الْحَرَامِ وَاذْكُرُوهُ كَمَا هَدَاكُمْ وَإِن كُنتُم مِّن قَبْلِهِ لَمِنَ الضَّالِّينَ. And in the previous ayah it said, وَاسْتَغْفِرُوا اللَّهِ. So after concluding your Hajj and after the Arafah day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded those who were in Arafah to ask Allah forgiveness. Somebody was saying they should ask Allah's forgiveness on the day of Arafah because that's the day of forgiveness. And what's the point? After the forgiveness, you ask Allah for forgiveness. What's the point? Because that to tell them asking Allah forgiveness and making istighfar, it's not the way just to erase your sins. Because that's one of the great acts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves. Allah loves to hear your voice. And your voice should be familiar to the angels that always you're making dua and forgiveness. Our beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the one Allah has forgiven all his sins. If he commit a sin. ما تقدم من ذنبه وما تأخر. And at the same time, as mentioned in the hadith, they count for him saying in astaghfirullah over 100 times in a day. Another statement, over 70 times in one sitting. Can you imagine? That's our beloved Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what do we think about us? استغفارنا يحتاج إلى استغفار. Even our forgiveness, asking Allah forgiveness and begging Allah forgiveness, that required forgiveness. Because it's not that sincere. It's just a lip surface. We ask Allah forgiveness for something that we will do it minute after. So what's the point? Astaghfirullah min qillati qawli astaghfirullah. I should ask Allah forgiveness because I'm saying a little that astaghfirullah. We should do it more often throughout the day. That inquire the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we say astaghfirullah. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala an, once his mother called him and he said, Labbayk ya ummah, here you go, I'm here. And then he asked Allah forgiveness. And he donated in the sake of Allah and he fasted the next day. Why is that? He said, Labbayk, oh my mother, I'm here. He said nice word, but he raised his voice. He felt that he annoyed her. He disturbed her. Even with a nice word. And he asked Allah forgiveness. That's another level. We should, try our best and always looking at ourselves and point to ourselves and correct ourselves. It's very important. That's one of the important ibadah, istighfar. Now if you're counting the times the Prophet used to say istighfar throughout the days, you'll be amazed. You'll be amazed. As we mentioned some of the act, you never even think that he would say istighfar. But he's saying istighfar throughout the days. especially after Surah An-Nasr revealed on him. فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْهُ إِنَّهُ كَانَ تَوَّابًا. Let's make it always as a good habit for us, and let's remember and memorize Sayyidul Istighfar. You can ask Allah forgiveness with any form. However, there's one form they call this is the master of Istighfar. That's one of the best forms. I'm sure you know it. Allahumma anta rabbi la ilaha illa ant khalaqtani wa ana abduk wa ana ala ahdika wa wa'dika mastata'at a'udhu bika min sharri ma sana'at abu'u laka bi ni'matika alayya wa abu'u bi dhanbi faghfir li fa innahu la yaghfiru dhunuba illa ant. Please remember this and try to memorize it. If you don't, that's something you should make it in your schedule. One of the things that you should, memorize bi'idhnillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala, and pass, these to your children. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect them all. اللهم اغفر ذنوبنا واستر عيوبنا وبلغنا في الدار مطلوبنا اللهم نسألك العفو والعافية والمعافاة الدائمة في الدين والدنيا والآخرة آمين.